It sure is.
Welcome to the Goodbyes YouTube channel, the home of motorsport. More than a race.
Hi and welcome to today's track guide at Monza. To start off the lap you want to run out quite wide and pick up speed for the main straight. In this guide I'm going to be talking about how I drive this car on the track, so if you're driving other cars you're going to have to probably adjust the way you drive it. For the first braking point on the first corner you want to use the 150 meter board on the left on the fencing. In this car you can brake right on the 150 meter board or slightly before it. Slow the car down and bring it to first gear. For the chicane you want to go right over the curbing but narrowly avoid the sausage curbing or you'll go flying. Ease the throttle a tiny bit halfway through it, once again right on the curbing, smooth on the throttle on the exit, and you can run onto the curbing but it'll be a bit bumpy so I avoid it here. Now pick up speed again and head to the next corner. Now for the next braking point there'll be another 150 meter board on the fencing, so in this case you want to brake just after the 150 meter board. Gently release the brake and use all the curbing you can, avoid the sausage curbs. Ease the throttle on at the exit, run wide but don't go onto the sand, and now we head over to the first Lesmo. This one I don't have really a braking point for, but you ease the brake on gently and just bring it right to the inside, halfway through the corner, ease the throttle back on, and run it out wide. You can use all the curbing on the exit if you like, I don't quite use it here. But now we move over to the second Lesmo. The braking point here will be the 50 meter board, brake just before that. Trail brake a little bit, don't use too much of the inner curbing because it's quite bumpy. But ease the throttle on the exit, don't run too wide, if you go in the grass you'll probably spin out or ruin your lap. Now we can pick up speed again and head to the scurry chicane. Okay, for the braking point here, we want to use that overhead structure and brake just after it. With this car we can use a lot of the curbing on the left here, so use as much as you can. Hopefully you won't upset the car too much. Bring out the car to the left a wee bit and then bring it straight back to the left. Don't hit the anti-cut bumps on the right, it will upset the car, but you want to get your foot down as soon as possible so you can get a nice run to the straight. Use a little bit of this curbing on the left, run out wide on the right, and now we head to the last corner. Now for the final braking point here, you want to brake halfway between the 100 meter board and the 50 meter board. And then gradually release the brake and then bring it right to the inside. Slow the car down, stabilize it, and ease the throttle back on, bring it back out wide. You can use this AstroTurf on the left, but it can be slippery, so it's up to you how you want to drive it. Get as much speed as you can and then head to the finish line. That's a lap at Monza. I hope you enjoyed this guide. It's pretty short and simple track, and it's not too hard to learn, but there's a few bumps you need to avoid, and it takes a bit of practice to get a perfect lap. Thanks for watching, like if you enjoyed.
Oh shit, I better open up another window.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and Happy New Year wherever you're watching right around the world. I hope it's nice and cool where you are, because it is hot, hot, hot here tonight. And let's hope we get some hot on-track action. Not sure where I'm going with that one, but hello and welcome to the first of two 90-minute driver swap races tonight, coming to you from the Autodromo Nazionale International di Monza. I think I'm pretty close with that one, but it is fantastic. We've got plenty of rules, plenty of stuff to talk about. I know you've been waiting all year for it. And boy, we are just having our free practice session at the moment. And look at these names. Some old favourites, some new ones as well. The GOATs in there. And Albert, buenos noches to everybody, the entire Spanish community down there in Richmond, Victoria. As I say, a big, big hello to Nemo, who says, how good is this to have KRL and RPR back? That's right. Rising Racing, Phoenix Racing League, along with the Kid Buyers Racing League. Nemo says, Cart Dude, we should have entered. Get in quick because these spots are going fast. Cart Dude, this is cool, but you should have seen the 2 hours of Tokyo. Very good stuff. Great to have you along with us, lads. 7 people joining us for our first stream of the year, and it's a big hello, possums, to my co-commentator. The great man is back again for 2022, Bob Hoskins. Hello to you.
Oh, sorry, mate. I had you playing in the background as well. Sorry. Yeah, good evening. Technical difficulties, as you can tell. Lovely to be back with you boys again. This is going to be a bit different, obviously. Got mixtures in there. You got mixtures of Reapers and KRL in the same car. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to this.
Cannot wait. It's going to be fantastic. And also joining us in the commentary box tonight from sunny Adelaide, we speak of none other than Cameron Norris, the man, the Nigerian prince, back again, coming off the 24-hour race at Le Mans. Voodoo, how are you this evening?
Oh yeah, still recovering, but yeah, still doing well.
That's it. Hopefully you got some sleep after that. I heard you're up for 40 hours, or was it you did the 40 hours straight, or?
Yeah, I was up from 1 p.m. on Saturday until it was about 3-4 a.m. on the Monday morning.
Nice one.
So,
Great stuff.
very long one.
And where did we finish in the end, Voodoo? Just out of interest for anyone watching?
Myself and the RPR crew, we managed to finish P2 in the Porsche GT3. So yeah, it was killer result from everybody involved. It was just crazy racing.
Fantastic
It was
effort.
awesome.
It was bloody awesome, wasn't it? And that's embarrassing, isn't it? I won't go with that accent again. We've tried the Kiwi accent off air a little bit earlier, but I've got to tell you, the safety car, which got plenty of rules to go through tonight, but look at these comments. Card Dude wants to know, what are the plans for Gran Turismo 7, which is out... green light, go, go, go. And Gran Turismo 7 coming out in March, I think, so on PS4 and PS5, as we see the drivers come out for this 10-minute qualifying session. GRT says, hi, boys. Cart Dude says, let's go Sydney Sixers in the BBL. Nemo stumped him. Got him, yes, go on. March 7th it is for GT7. Thank you, Cart Dude, and go the Sydney Sixers. You think he'd be a Hurricanes man from down there in Launceston. As we see the drivers come out onto the track, there is Wilco as Dave joins us. All the best to our shakedown boys, Jim and Alberto. Thank you for that, Dave. It is great to have everybody's company tonight. Bob, they are coming from everywhere. 12 people watching. How was your holiday, Trev? No holidays here, just hard work. No, it was good. Good Christmas break, though. Nice and quiet. COVID still causing havoc here in Victoria, Nemo, but thank you for asking. And yes, the Hurricanes, of course, not making the final of the BBL, but as we see the cars coming out onto the track for the first time, first stream for 2022, we've got 17 drivers with us tonight. Bob, you said this is going to be an absolute ripper, and I'm looking forward to it. And what are we going to see here tonight? 90 minutes, and we'll get to some of the rules a bit later, but this is going to be an absolute epic race tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very hard one to call. Looking at the teams, now you've got Binger and Wilco in the same car. That's a very strong team. You have got Barders and John in the same car. Very strong team. You've got young Mountain Goat and Brian in the same car. Very strong team. Brian has actually been on fire for this, and Goat is a young 15-year-old who is blindingly quick. So we just have to see how he copes with the Bentley around here. It's going to be too difficult to call this one. I'm afraid I can't give you a forecast on this. Quali might give us an indicator.
Let's just wait and see. It's going to be an absolute ripper. I keep saying it. It's exciting. And the commentary box, it's going to be heating up here tonight out on track as well. Bell says, best of luck, guys. Great stuff, Bell. Thanks for joining us. Nemo says, Binger and Wilco, very, very strong. They are the teams that you were talking about there, Albert and Jimbledon. Barters and John, Rex Buckingham, Vintage Racer, Binger, Wilco in the Nissan, Matterford, Branchy, Isuzu, Brian, and the young goat, the young man who spent a bit of time on GT Sport. Always tough to come back to ACC, but we'll see how he goes tonight. He looked quick in the practice sessions earlier this evening. Mac and the Boss 290, Geordie and Hef, and Skill and Aussie Thunder. Let's have a look at this rundown here tonight, Friday the 28th of January at Monza, followed by another race next month. Bob, 25th of February at Bathurst. So going to Bathurst a little bit earlier than what we usually do. You can see there, quali 10 minutes, 90-minute race, 2 pit stops for fuel per driver. And that's what you were talking about. Cars from 2015, I believe, Bob, tonight. You can see the list of cars there on the screen. And it is blurry, Nemo, this because it's a screenshot from Windows Snipping Tool 2.0. Classic one, that one. Got me out of trouble many, many times. But the boys have to pit on lap 18. And we've got some, here we go. First driver does qualifying, Bob. We're just having another look at the rules. They start the race, must pit before lap 10 for their first pit stop. Then all drivers must pit at the end of lap 17 for the driver swap. Once the stop is completed, the second driver will start their stint, and then they only have to do 2 fuel stops for the rest of the race. And Bob, if you can follow all that, you're a better man than I can. But let me tell you, this is the most important. We've got some additional rules, and 2 sets of tyres, 2 mandatory fuel stops. We've seen all of that. But, Bullseye, safety car can be called by yourself or myself with 20 minutes to go if we need to spice things up.
Yeah, I think that's just in case the race has pitted off towards the end. But to be honest, I think it's going to be pretty spicy. Probably maybe the top 3-4 cars. Maybe we might end up with a gap. But yeah, we can have some fun with that one for sure.
And as Rex Buckingham and Sexy Rexy putting that on pole, provisional pole position with a 150.094. But I have a sneaking suspicion as we wait for, there he is, Voodoo has popped up, which means that he's done one of 2 things. He's re-signed up to the PlayStation Network, or he's found someone else's password. Voodoo, I don't want to know which one it is, but it is great to have you in the lobby and here tonight, because you, my friend, are the safety car, we believe.
Oh yeah, I'm not really safe enough to be a safety car, but you know, hopefully we don't need to bring it out. I'm fair sure there's going to be some pretty solid competitive racing tonight. So yeah, I'm just here on standby, waiting around in the pit lane.
Great stuff as Rex gets a little bit loose out of the second of the 2 Lesmos, I think it was. What do you reckon, Bob? If we could do the Michael Massey, if someone's leading and we don't like the finishing order or the way it's shaping up, we might bring out a safety car towards the end of the race just to spice it up a little bit. And let's have a look here. Albert, Prince Albert, these are closer to the times, Bob, we were seeing in practice, as Albert, the Spaniard, goes with 149.2. That is quick.
Yeah, they are getting down to the sort of times we were expecting to see. There's potential of someone getting in the 48s, but obviously we are in the older cars, so a very low 49 might be enough to clinch it.
As you can see there, Albert on your screen, he's 8/10 clear of Rex Buckingham, 46, and the RPR guys who I don't know a great deal about, but who can we keep our eye on from the RPR boys here tonight, Bob? I know you know them better than I do. Any wild cards in the pack tonight?
Well, Albert is always fast. You know him. He races in both leagues. Well, 3 leagues I think he races in now. Just about. You got John to keep an eye on. He can be deadly fast at times. Aussie Thunder, he's always steady. Brian is the unknown here because I looked at some earlier practice times and he is rapid around here. Skill, he's always quick, he's always dependable. Bardas you already know about. There's a proper mixed bag out there, and yeah, there's a lot of fast drivers out there.
It certainly is. We're ticking down here as Rebel comments. Let's go, Jim and Albert. Rebel Dixie, hello to you. Good evening, wherever you're watching. As Albert gets out of the way, we're riding with Branchy at the moment. Mac not too far behind him. Is he picking up a toe? Through the parabolica onto the main straight now. Branchy currently in 7th, 2.7 off the pace. As Rex, now that gap between Albert and Rex is 0.3 of a second now across the line. Less than 2 minutes to go in this one in the gym. Just great stuff going with the workout here down there in Melbourne. Hope you're doing okay down there. There was a fair bit of rain that made its way through Melbourne, and it's just hitting here, Rebel, in northeast Victoria. So hope you're doing well down there. Jason says, hello, Bob and Trev. Great to have you with us, Jason. Big shout out to you. Great to have everyone with us. We've got a dozen online watching us tonight for the first time for this channel streaming in 2022, and the Rising Phoenix Racing League combining with KRL, the Kid Buyers Racing League, to bring you a 90-minute driver swap race. And if you missed the rules a little bit earlier on, we won't trouble you with those again, will we, Bob? We might go through them later on as the race progresses. Rebel is actually in Druin, nice part of the world down there in Gippsland, down there in Victoria. As we have got, who have we got here? We got Albert still on pole position, 149.239. And we're riding with Wilco at the moment. He's 1.5 seconds off of pole position, but he's coming around to complete another lap. And I think he might get another go at this, Bob. But speaking of drivers who are pretty handy, he's a pretty handy peddler, this man, in the Nissan, representing the Nissan. One of 6 Nissans in the field tonight as he comes around the final corner. And what time is this going to be? I can't see the Delta, Bob, as he comes across the line, and it's only good enough for third.
Yeah, reasonable time though. He's not got to grips with the Nissan, but obviously you know what Wilco's like. It's his race pace that when he comes alive. So.
Yep, that's for sure. They don't hand those points out for qualifying. Speaking of qualifying, we are done and dusted. And let's just have a look at this, because Big Shep has checked in. A very big hello to Trev and Wilco. We'll put Bob in there and Cam as well, from Shep, Dylan and Jess down there at Warrnambool in Victoria. The big man having a few frothies down there in Warrnambool. Fun fact, Shep, I know you've got a mate down there at the Speedway, and I grew up there, spent some time down in Warrnambool for 3 or 4 years down there, a great part of the world down by the sea. As we tick down to the end of qualifying, enough about my life, as Branchy has just got, what's he doing there? He's gone off the track, so I think that might be it. Nobody else is going to get a lap in. Bob, that is the end of qualifying, I believe, as we get ready for the race.
Yeah, there's no great shocks there, to be honest, in the times. Albert really enjoys that Jaguar, so it's no surprise that he got that hooked up. But obviously, I don't think this is going to be reflective of what the boys are running in the race. I'm expecting a close one here, to be honest.
Absolutely fantastic race coming your way. Great quali lap, says Wilco. Still 0.8 off of Albert, who checked out at the front with a 149.239. We are excited, so should you be too. And it's going to heat up on track. Isuzu Brian, Mac Miller in 6th. We'll go through these quali results. There we have it. So Albert, Rex, Jason, John, Isuzu Brian in 5th, Mac Miller 6th, Branchy in 7th, Aussie Thunder, Hef. Hello to Big Hef, who's joined us tonight. Rounding out your top 10 is Binger, Vintage Racer 67. He sounds like a wily old fox. Says Skill in 12th, The Boss in 13th, Barters 14th. Look at this turnout. As the GOAT, the young man in 15th, Geordie in 16th, Matterford 17th, Jimbledon 10. I've got to do a double take.
Trev, they're all the drivers that didn't do quali.
I know, they are, aren't they? That's right. It's about, it's just, I tell you what, this heat's getting to me here, as we've got 1 minute and 10. Thank you for that. I tell you what would I do, Bob, without you? Rebel, well done. Team Shakedown, Albert, solid lap. And Dave saying Albert and Jim on pole position. And that's right, we are less than a minute away. And we don't have time to go to a short commercial break. We're going to stick with this, but look at the top right-hand corner of your screen, Bob Hoskins. 1 hour, that's right, 1 hour and 30 minutes here tonight of pure racing action between KRL and RPR. Who's going to take bragging rights, Bob? Give us your tips.
This will all depend on if Albert gets a good run at the start, and it's all going to depend on the number 2 cars as well. So we might see some teams streak away at the start, and then they lose all of that advantage in, after the driver swap. I can't really call it, to be honest. I would say by where they're sat and the times we've seen, Albert looks like a bit of a favourite at the moment, but you can't look past Wilco, you can't look past John, you can't look past the team of Brian and Young Mountain Goat. Yeah, it's too hard to call this one. Really sorry, mate. I can't give you a dead cert.
And that is just the way we like it here. As you can see, Albert with Rex Buckingham. Great name, that one, alongside him here. Albert, he's got the pace tonight. Hello, Rebel. Well done, Team Shakedown. Dave joining us as well. Big Shep, everybody sit back for the next 90 minutes. We've got a fantastic race coming your way. Wilco behind Albert there. Is he going to have a cheeky look down into turn 1? Don't get too close there. Brian as well. Back there in P5, P6 for Mac. Branchy, green light. You know what that means. Go, go, go here at Monza. I've waited a long time to say that, and it looks like Big Rexy, Sexy Rexy's got the jump on Albert down into turn 1, but Albert's got the inside line. Is he going to just go down the inside?
Oh, we've got a spinner. We've got a spinner.
We've got a spinner.
Oh,
and I tell you, was it very similar? Who was it? Someone knocked out Rosberg there, didn't they? Going through that first corner many years ago at turn 1. And do we have to call a safety car this soon, Bob? I'm not sure.
I don't know. It was only 2 cars. It was only 2 cars. It looked like 3 could have potentially spun, but it was only 1 complete spinner. And 2 cars majorly involved in that one.
I think we're looking pretty good. What happened, says Bell. Wilco, that's a question for you, as Albert still leads this race. And that was a disastrous start for that man, Jason Wilkinson, who went into turn 1 backwards. I didn't see how that incident started, Bob, but he just flashed through the screen and he was already well out of shape when he got to turn 1.
Yeah, I think there might have been some contact in the mid-pack, and it may have unsettled his car, but yeah, around she went.
Around she went.
I'll jump in the replay and have a quick look.
There we go, thank you. Right across it as Albert almost has a moment. Coming down the back straight, here it is Albert leading. Green flags, green flags. We are continuing on here on the opening lap of this 90-minute race. KRL versus Rising Phoenix Racing. There we go. I've got 90 minutes to get that one right as we come through to complete lap 1 around the Parabolica for the first time. And Albert leads this race, taking the shortest route to the line to complete lap 1. It is John in second, Isuzu Brian third. Listen to the roar of these cars coming across the line to complete lap 1. Jim, I was riding on board with Wilco. He got a tap from the rear, which put him into a spin. Thank you, Jim, for letting us know what happened there. Is, oh my goodness, through lap 1, Thunder having a look at Sexy Rexy, who I think has been the biggest loser out of that turn 1, lap 1 incident. Big Shep down there. He knows plenty of people down in Warrnambool, and he says, let's go, Wilco, let's go. Great to have you with us, Shep, and everybody else. Shep, Dylan, and Jess down there in Warrnambool, Victoria. But here we are on lap number 2, is it? Yes, lap number 2. Of this 90-minute race. The drivers will swap, of course, and we'll keep you updated with the rules and various other things that are going on here tonight. What's Hef doing, I hear you ask? He's down in 8th as Wilco is in the pits. So Wilco, I don't think Bob is going to be taking any further part. No, he's back out onto the track.
No, he's got the 2 stops to make, so he's decided to take an early one. So I just watched the replay from the start. It was just unfortunate, in all honesty. There were 3 abreast. 3 don't fit into 1, and as the cars got closer and closer, heading up to T1, it was actually Brian on Wilco's inside rear, and yeah, that's what caused the coming together. But yeah, there was no room for any of the cars to move, really. They just all bunched together.
As you said, 3 doesn't go into 1, does it? As we cross the line then Albert still leads. John, you can see, trying to get a slipstream down the main straight as my headset begins to slide off of my head. It's very hot in the commentary box. If it's this hot in the commentary box, Bob, imagine what it's like for the drivers out there tonight. Imagine what they're going through. But this is interesting. We saw the pace of Prince Albert in qualifying, but still, John, he's only 1.1 seconds behind Albert at the moment, so Albert showed that pace. Best of the pack in qualifying, not exactly streaking away. In fact, it's less than a second, that gap now, Bob.
Yeah, so we've got a group of 3 up front at the moment, that being Brian, John and Albert. So we're starting to see them stretch their legs a little bit just now, but obviously we've got many pit stops to come. We've got the driver changes to come. This is not over, not by a long way.
Not over to the fat lady sings, and it's going to be a long, long time before she starts singing. As you can see here here we go, Albert. Then it's John, that gap now 0.8 of a second. 15 people watching this. How good is it to have this racing action back? And things are only going to get better. We've got the new next-gen Assetto Corsa coming out, don't we, Bob? In February coming up, Gran Turismo 7. So plenty of action, plenty of racing games coming out here in 2022. As you can see, John, did he have a little moment there? It looked a bit twitchy, things coming through the Parabolica. No, it is all good. So it's Albert, John, and Isuzu Brian, the top 3. Then it's Rex. Sexy Rex Buckingham, who's made his way up. He was battling for the lead going into turn 1. He dropped back to 7th. And now, Bob, he's back up into 4th, only 1.7 off of Isuzu Brian. So Rexy is looking pacey here.
Yeah, nice recovery. I mean, obviously he was an innocent bystander at T1, and he ended up spun right around by a flailing Wilco. But yeah, no, it's a good recovery. He got straight back on it.
He's looking good, so the gap's steady at the moment as Mac. Have a look at this. Mac, is he going to go down the inside of Branchy? No. And the Audi closes the door on the number 5 Nissan there, and that's going to keep Aussie Thunder interested as well. Don't forget about Hef in this race tonight. The number 22 Nissan, sporting that beautiful Gran Turismo livery. That's a bit of a throwback for you, running a little bit wide there out of the first Lesmo, as there he is, Wilco, who went full Nikita Mazepin on the start, off the start line. He's now down there in 9th. He has made his first of 2 pit stops as we head back to the front. Dylan Parsons just joined down here in Warrnambool with Big Shep while he's enjoying some beers and racing. Have a frothy for me, Dylan. A frothy, if you don't mind. I'm sure it's pretty warm down there in Warrnambool. 39 degrees a couple of days ago, as Bob just scoffs at that temperature, being from Western Australia. And did you see that, Bob? Albert flirting with the pit lane. So strategy is going to come into play very soon here, as Albert just foxing John a little bit there.
Yeah, I'm sure the boys will be in party chat as well. They like winding each other up. They're all used to it now. So, yeah, there'll be a bit of gamesmanship going on here for sure.
As you can see, there we go. Thank you for that kind message, Dylan, Shep, and the crew down there. Jess down there at Warrnambool in the great state of Victoria. Rebel Dave Bell, Jimbo Jones, everybody joining us. And all the talk of getting on the beers. I will be back, says Voodoo. I need a cold one. So the Nigerian prince is going to his fridge right now to get a nice cold frosty one. And he's going to enjoy that. Lap 4 of this race with 1 hour. 1 hour, that's right, 1 hour, 21 minutes and 31 seconds remaining. These are record numbers on the stream. 19 beautiful people joining us. Let us know where you are watching from if you haven't already. The gap, however, between first and second on the track is now 1.3 seconds steady. Back to Isuzu Brian, who's got Rex right up in his business now. Onto the back straight here, you can see that he's applying all sorts of pressure. Bullseye, are we going to see a move into the Parabolica here? No, I don't think so. J-Mads Matterford says, I'll have a beer too, Voodoo. I want to have a beer with J-Mads, cause J-Mads me mate. And it's all this talk of beer at the moment, Bob's making me thirsty. But of course, to open the commentary box door, walk out to the fridge, it'd be an awful task with this headset cord, the length that it is. But is Rex going to have a go here, Bob?
No, I think he's going to sit there for a little while, I think. Or, well, no, I might be wrong. He didn't just open my mouth and then it all started to change.
He didn't sit there for too long because Rex, I was about to say, Isuzu opened the door. You opened your mouth and Isuzu opened the door and Rex wanted to go right through it, but it didn't work out for Rex on that occasion through the Curva Grande here. And Rex now might be looking to get all up in his business. And don't forget about Mac, who's got, he's not too far, is he, behind Aussie Thunder. Branchy now in the pits. There you can see Branchy, the number 3 Audi. He's in a bit of a Nissan sandwich at the moment. Hef still out there circulating some oil, running in 8th place. Wilco now is down there at the back. As you can see, lap number 5 of this race. Still a long, long way to go here in this one. That gap out in the lead now, 1.4 seconds. As Voodoo says, pop down the pit lane. He says to Matterford, I've got a few cold ones in an Esky, the good old Northerns. Not a bad drop, that one. Plum Boss 84 says, let's go, Rex. Your man currently down there in 4th, looking the business at the moment. And I reckon if Isuzu leaves, if Brian leaves a gap, he leaves the door open, he's going to go, yes! Heading down towards the Parabolica, he gets the move done. He didn't get it done last lap, Bob, but he signed, sealed, stamped and delivered it on that occasion. He's up into 3rd.
Yeah, he sent it that time. You know, lovely move. He had a lovely run out of Ascari. Just got the move done nice and early.
There we have it.
Earlier on, I think some of the boys might be having some issues because Mac was right up on Aussie Thunder. He's just gone past him as Aussie Thunder pits. But Mac had a bit of a John Deere moment and decided to plough a couple of fields. But then all that time that Aussie gained there, he lost it just before his pit.
There we have it. Fantastic move. Absolutely spot on, Dylan. What a pass from Rex. And he is absolutely flying at the moment. Big Shep, we've got an update. Big Bash update. Thank you, Shep, down there in Warrnambool. Perth Scorchers 4 for 68. Having a few drinks, watching the Big Bash, multitasking. You can see this man, a very talented man, Big Shep. And you can see there your boys, the Perth Scorchers. We're not talking about the Ashes, Bob, at all. So the Perth Scorchers, though, they're doing pretty well. And is it the final, I think, of BBL? It's got to be. We're going to be getting close to the final. The Big Bash seems never-ending, doesn't it, nowadays? But I think it's the final. But anyway, the Perth Scorchers are 4 for 86. We're right across that as well this evening. But it is lap 6 of this one. Dave has said, great broadcast and race in Ballarat, watching and following the Shakedown Sim Racing boys in the lead. That's right, Dave. They're getting the job done here tonight as we look at Albert, the Spaniard. Very nice, that gap now, 2.9 seconds. He's got a bit of a cushion at the front. Victory Rider, hello to you. Hey, Trev, g'day, neighbour. And boy, it is great to hear from you. Happy New Year, my friend, and welcome to this stream. Great to get that feedback, Dave. And we are glad you're enjoying this incredible race here tonight. And we've still got a long, long way to go. Lap 7 of this race. So, Albert, now it's pretty much what we had at the beginning of the race because Rex is up into P2. And how much of that gap can he whittle down, Bob, before we see the first lot of pit stops here?
Right, I tell you at the moment, the one to watch is Rex. He is banging in mid-49s just now. Albert's fastest lap, the one prior, was 50 flats. So at the moment, it's looking like Rex has got half a second on everybody out there.
Incredible stuff. That is going to get spicy. You can see Albert in P1 there, and that gap now almost less than 3 seconds. It's right on 3 seconds, and they're very, very close. Mac now has inherited third place as John comes out of the pits, and it's all about that pit stop strategy. Thank you, Shep, confirming that it is the final of the Big Bash League tonight. The Sydney Sixers up against the Perth Scorchers. The Sixers having a great win the other night, I think, in the semi-final to get through to the final with the Perth Scorchers. They've done the business. I think they've won it 2 or 3 times. So enjoy Shep, who's got one hand on a beer, one hand on the TV remote, and one hand on something else. We better not go there. I don't like where that's going. But look at this. John out of the pits. And guess what? He's got some clear air here, Bob, to continue on with. So he's going to get back on this pace. And he's only 14 seconds, I think. He's in clear air, though, after his pit stop. So he's looking good.
And Rex has just pitted as well. So, yeah, at the moment, John is like the front runner of those that have pitted thus far. Yeah, we're just going to have to watch this pace. But to me, at the moment, all eyes need to be on car number 46.
And we're going to keep an eye on that. And you can see GRT, who says, looks like Rex Hunt is fishing for John. John as 98. That's funny, says Brocky LJ. Great to have you with us. GRT, yibbity yibbita. Thank you very much. Rex Hunt there. Classic. Well, I think he called over 1,000 games of Aussie rules football, of course. One of the great callers. And, of course, who can forget Rex Hunt's fishing adventures? Great stuff. But lap 8 of this race, we'll get back to the lead as Rex in the pits. In the pits and out again. One of 2 pit stops that this first lot of drivers have to
It's going to be close with John.
It's going to be very close.
It's going to be very close with John.
Where's John? Here he comes. You watch Rex. I'll watch John as he comes out of the pit lane. I think he's got him, has he? Yes, just. So it looks like the overcut, would you say, Bob, has worked on that occasion? Rex with a nose in front ahead of John after their first round of pit stops.
Yeah, he was managing to hold, consistent laps, half a second faster than everybody else. So, yeah, he's managed to get that jump done.
So there we have it. John down in 4th now. Rex up into 3rd. I don't think Mac has pitted, has he? I don't think he's still going there.
Not yet.
Not yet. So is he going to come into the pits this lap? 22 people on the live stream. That's right. Boy, those numbers are fantastic, aren't they? Here comes Mac Main into the pits, and Macca is into the pits. RPR versus KRL. I say versus. It's a little bit harsh. It's sort of a combined effort tonight with this 90-minute driver swap race. One of 2. Here at Monza tonight, of course, Friday the 28th of January, and then the 25th of February, we're heading to Bathurst for another one, so that'll be absolutely fantastic as we'll leave Mac into the pit lane, and Albert, our race leader, also into the pits, Bob.
He's coming out. He's already moving, so he might hold it. Yeah, he will. He's going to hold his position.
So
he's going to hold the lead.
I think Albert's going to get back into the lead. He had a little bit of a gap, didn't he, back to Rex? I think it was hovering around 3 seconds. He comes back out. And where are the other 2 boys? They're close, but not quite close enough. So this sets up a terrific little scrap here. You can see Rex, who seems to have the pace on John, doesn't he, Bob? He's sort of not streaking away into the distance, but he's getting a good gap there. On John 27 TCT, the number 98. And you can see there, let's take a look at the drivers, what the rest of the drivers are doing. As Mac got out in front of Aussie Thunder? I think he has. He's in front of him on the track there, as you can see. Aussie Thunder, then Branchy. Wilco now up to 7th after that early pit stop. Victory in the Jag. That's right. The Jag, number 55, is leading. Isuzu Brian now, where is he? He is in P8 at the moment, and I think Hef is down there rounding out Almost rounding out the top 10, of course. I think he might have a penalty, I believe. He's got a red mark next to his name, and that can't be a good thing, Bob, but he's still going around the circuit in ninth. 9 laps completed now in this 90-minute race. And you can see there, we take a quick look, 90 minutes, 2 pit stops per driver. You can see there, all the drivers, 1 driver doing quali. We've seen all that. So they've got to pit before lap 10. We're on lap 9 at the moment. Then all drivers must pit at the end of lap 17 for the first of the driver swaps. So that is really going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons, isn't it? We've seen Albert dominating at the moment. And that gap, 5 seconds. So he's setting things up nicely for the second part of this race, Bob.
Yeah, I think Rex lost a bit of time in the pits there. That's the only thing I can think. I didn't see him do anything wrong in, his in-lap or his out-lap indeed. But yeah, he's actually lost a couple of seconds, although it is coming back down again now. Brian must have had a bit of a mishap in the pits as well, because he's lost out big time. He came in at the same time as John.
So there we have it. So things have, and that's what we wanted. The field has been shaken up here in this race. That's what the pit stops can do. We've seen it happen all the time. And we've still got the field pretty close. There is a bit of a gap now between third and fourth. As we see Voodoo says there looks to be a train coming into turn 1. And I'm assuming that we're talking about a Mac, Aussie Thunder, Branchy, and Wilco now's joined the back of that pack as well, Bob. So after that early pit stop, Wilco right back into that midfield mix.
Yeah, no, he's done a good job. He obviously after the accident, he didn't need to, but he took a slower run on lap 1, redressed whatever positions he felt he needed to, which he didn't. In all honesty, it wasn't his fault. But gentleman driver, he got his pit out of the way early, and he's had a nice, comfortable, consistent run since.
And speaking of the man, speak of the devil, there we have it. He is on your screen now. Branchy going on the defensive there, but Wilco might have a bit of a toe in that Nissan. It's Nissan Power versus Audi Power. Nissan well and truly represented in the field tonight. Scott wants to know, I missed it, how did Rex get past John? It was in the pit lane, wasn't it? During the pit stops, I believe.
Yes, correct.
Yep,
he had about half a second a lap on John, and then when John pitted, there was he went for the overcut. Rex did, and he got the job done.
There we have it. So speaking of getting the job done, Wilco, careful you don't break yourself there into turn 1 and 2. And thank you. Yep, there we go. There's your answer. Scott, Geordie, Bell saying it was in the pits. Thanks, Bell and boys. Great. Thank you, Scott, for watching this race here tonight. Boy, oh boy, it is getting hot in this commentary box. I've almost run out of water. And guess what, Bob? We've got an hour and 7 minutes of action to go. And look at that, 35 degrees track temperature, 35 air temperature. It is very, very hot. As Scott wanting to know, Geordie wanting to know, did John take tyres? That's an interesting question, Bob. I'm not too sure. Did he put a new fresh set of rubber on that car during his pit stop?
I don't know, to be honest. Whoa, as Rex goes off track, so any catching he's done has just been undone. Yeah, I don't know. They're on fixed pit stop lengths, so to be honest, 45 minutes in the car, I wouldn't be taking tyres.
No, I reckon you might be pretty right. So short answer, we think, is no. We can't be more conclusive than that. Turn the aircon on, Trev. It's bloody warm up here. And I've got to say, Victory, it's one of those funny sort of evaporative coolers. And once it gets a little bit on the humid side, it really struggles to keep me cool here. But I'm not complaining. I've got the little desk fan working overtime here. But thank you for thinking of me. And thank you for watching as well.
Wilco's having a look.
And Wilco is
having a look.
looking. He's doing more than just having a look. He's going through. Branchy, do they make contact? Branchy keeping his foot in it up over the curbs. And he runs wide now, and that's going to leave the door open for Wilco to go through and in towards the Curva Grande. Wilco gets the job done. But my goodness me, Branchy not making it easy at all for him, Bob Hoskins. Just keeping his foot in it and saying, you know what, if you want to get past me, you're going to have to go the long way around. Great bit of driving there from the two of them.
Yeah, we nearly had a Lewis and Max moment.
Almost ending up on top of one another there. As you can see now, Wilco, where is he? He's up to P6. Branchy now. Good defending from Branchy, but he just couldn't quite keep his nose in front to hold the position. Brian's dropped back a little bit. Hef still running around in P9 there as well. So Albert, 4.2 seconds off the pace. We saw that gap coming down before Rex had a little bit of an incident. You picked up on that one, Bob, so great vision there. And now that gap, 4.2 seconds, as we've got 12 laps, 13 laps completed here at the Autodromo Internazionale di Monza. And I'm going to get that right eventually before the evening is done here. But Rex, 4.2 seconds further back. John, who Rex got the jump on, didn't he, after that first pit stop? And he's deciding, you know what, I'm taking the 1967 layout of Monza, and I'm not taking those first two corners. He's a little bit old school there, but I don't think he's gained any advantage from that at all, Bob, and he's probably a good idea. He outbraked himself and elected to go down the escape road, so no harm done in the end with John.
Yeah, and he didn't spray the polystyrene all across the track like we've seen in a lot of events on this track. And
there we have it. Mac in a fourth. As my daughter in the background, still awake. It's getting late, a little bit past her bedtime. It's a little bit concerning, but anyway, she's having a late one. It is Friday night. It is KRL versus RPR. And you can see there the 90-minute driver swap race. And just to tick over, 1 hour remaining. I think the longest the longest commentary stint you and I have done, Bob, is about an hour, isn't it, for a race? So we're in uncharted territory here.
Yeah, I hope we don't run out of things to talk about as we get into the last 30 minutes. We just have to spice it up a bit with the safety car ruling.
Well, it's two things we can't talk about, and that is what happened in Abu Dhabi. We can't talk about the Ashes, so those two have been ticked off the list. But there is plenty happening still, as I guess we've still got the Mac train forming there, 4th, 5th, 6th, and I thought Wilco was getting very close there. You can see him flashing those headlights, doing everything he can to just distract. It doesn't take much, does it, Bob, if you've got someone behind you. It doesn't take a lot to get distracted, miss a braking point, and next thing you're seeing the guy behind sail past you. You can see there Wilco coming down the main straight now to complete lap 14 of this race here tonight at Monza. And I think he's got past Branchy okay, but I think once he gets towards Thunder and maybe Mac as well, he's going to have a bit more of a difficult time, would you reckon, Bob? Because we've got some handy guys. They just get quicker, don't they, the further you get to the front?
Well, he took a second and a half out of him on that lap, so I think if he's going to play mind games with his lights, it's going to work with a closing speed like that.
And you can see, yep, he's looking good, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's looking very steady at the moment. He was up on, or Ozzy was up on his fastest lap just then, and it bled all away.
And you can see there, as the great Murray Walker used to say, catching is one thing and passing is quite another. You're right there, Murray. Great commentary. That was at Formula 197. Great stuff indeed. Martin Brundle just chipping in that game. Fantastic commentary. Almost making a move there, Wilco. He had a bit of a look. He had a bit of a look, but couldn't quite get nothing done. But can he have a crack here down towards the Parabolica, down on the back straight now? He's got a good exit here. He's looking close. You said he was taking time out of him all the way. And now he's lining up Aussie Thunder to make a move here. He's not quite close enough. But if he gets a good run out of the final corner, I reckon he might get this job done sooner rather than later, Bob. As you can see now, out of the final corner, he's going to get a bit of a tow here. And will P5 be his? He was, it's looking like he's got great closing speed. Here he comes, the Nissan. And is he going to get it done down the inside?
There we go.
There we go. And he's managed to get it all slowed down, but Thunder coming back at him. They make contact. Wilco gets the back end of that car out, and it must be a turn one thing for Wilco tonight, not having much luck through turns 1 and 2 this evening, but now they are side by side through the Curva Grande. And who is going to be the last of the late breakers here? Is Aussie going to pull out of it? No, he's going down the inside, but he's thought better of it, and he lives to fight another day. Look. Fantastic racing, and Wilco now gets that position, P5, as we tick under the hour mark here. It's the final countdown. I promised I wouldn't sing, of course, Bob, to all of our viewers. We usually take requests, don't we, here on the stream tonight, but Wilco up into P5, but Thunder not done with him yet, is he?
No, he'll try and stick with him as long as he can. Obviously, there's no quarter given between all these boys. You know, they all know each other, and they're going to push each other all the way. What's interesting now is the gap between Albert and Rex at the front.
And you can visually see that gap as Thunder now, Aussie Thunder. Not quite done with Wilco, but I think he's got some bigger problems coming up here, don't you, Bob? He's got Branchy and Brian not too far behind him as well. As we get back to this man who we haven't seen for a few laps, and because with 58 minutes to go in this race, that gap is closing all the time. Look at it. First and second almost together. And yes, thank you for that, the great man Murray Walker, because we're getting close to lap 17, aren't we, Bob? And you know what that means? Driver swapping time, and this is gonna set this up nicely between Albert and Rex 1 and 2. There's going to be almost nothing between them as they come in to swap their driver lineups tonight.
Yeah, so we just got to hope that Rex doesn't have any, sort of issues coming into the pits. We know he did lose time on his first pit stop. But yeah, let's just see how he does against Albert in this one. Obviously, Rex is handing over to Vintage Racer, and Albert is handing over to Jimbledon.
There we have it. So you can see, as we'll get back to that, so Albert handing over to Jimbledon, like you said, Bob, and Rex handing over to Vintage Racer 1967. As we get back to the action tonight, if OBS wants to work for me. Oh, hello there. I didn't think we'd get that back, but 57 minutes remaining in this one as we come across the line then. 2.1, so it's steady, Bob. It's steady. Oh, it's not so steady. It's 1.7 seconds. It's less than 2 seconds. And that is... I bet you couldn't have gotten right through the rest of the night without knowing that, that's for sure. But I've got to say, now even John... 9.1 seconds that gap, so it's very much a race between Albert and Rex at the front. John on his own, Mac a further 12 back behind him. As Wilco, we saw him get the job done on Thunder, but Branchy there in 7th. Brian, Isuzu Brian 86 down there in 8th, and the Hef in 9th, albeit a lap down, but still running here this evening. So there we have it. That is your top 9 as we wait for the drivers to come in on this lap, I think it is. So all the boys will be looking to have a pretty good in-lap. And like you said, Bob, they don't want any issues, do they, coming in for the driver swap?
No, exactly. It's not actually worked out to be halfway, is it?
No. Not quite. We're not
We're actually
quite.
10 minutes shy of halfway, so maybe some calculations were done wrong on the pit.
And maybe the so the boys having a second go at this, going to be at it a little bit longer than their teammates. And Voodoo, the Nigerian prince, breaking news: the chatter is going in the party, and everybody is boxing this lap. Thank you for that, the great man Voodoo. Safety car, newsbreaker, Nigerian prince, proud South Australian, and just about everything coming off. And here we go. So into the pits, Albert into the pits, Rex as well joining him. So these boys are going to get a bit of time on the rest of the field. There's John as well. So this is going to bunch things up here, Bob, as we wait for the driver swaps to take place. There we go. They're coming into the pits. Let's have a look further down. Here comes Mac. And let's hope there's no stop-go penalties. That's what we're going to be careful of, Bell, here tonight, because it doesn't take much. Just a few Ks over in the pit lane, and you can get a penalty, of course. Wilco, Branchy, they're all coming in now. Brian and Hef a little bit further back. It's like when you're watching the Olympic swimming relay, isn't it? And there's always that guy from the country that probably doesn't have a swimming pool, and he's just at the back. You know what I'm trying to talk about, but let's have a look here. 18 laps gone, the boys in the pits, and we can see the rest of them starting to make their way out as Hef finally makes his way into the pits. So this is going to really bunch things up. We've been saying it as Vintage now out of the pits, of course, teammates with Sexy Rexy. So he is out of the pits, but I'm looking to see what is going on with Jimbledon. What's happening there, Bob? He's still in the pit lane and stationary, it seems.
He is. I don't know. Right. I bet what's happened there is because you've got to wait for your driver one car to come off of its jacks before you can go. Now, if Albert accidentally left tyres or such like on, that will have extended their pit time.
Well, so controversy. We said that this can be a bit of an issue. We see all sorts of funny things happen in the pits, don't we, Bob? We see controls being locked and all sorts of stuff. But we saw there, so it's taken it's taken a long time, hasn't it, for Jimbledon to get going? We'll wait to see the order shake out and settle a little bit later on. But that's cost that team big time, hasn't it? After all that hard work that Albert's done in the first half, almost the first half of the race, unfortunately had to wait 1 minute 40 after he hit drive. That is disastrous news for Team Jimbledon and Albert here tonight. And Geordie just said his controls locked. We do see that happen from time to time, don't we, Bob? He just went into the setup, didn't change anything, and backed out, and it's cost them a fair amount of time. As Brocky says, come on, Goaty, Vintage, having a moment there at Parabolica. Come on, Goaty, remember, no bump drafting. And speaking to the great man, the GOAT, a little bit earlier on this evening off air before this race tonight, he has been playing GT Sport. And the old bump drafting, a bit of a thing in GT Sport, not quite so on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Instead, Vintage. Now we're waiting for things to settle out. So where does that leave us, Bob? Have we got Barters up there as well? So this has definitely thrown the cat amongst the pigeons here with 52 minutes left in this one.
Yeah, so it has. I mean, obviously, it's had a massive effect on the leader, but the gap has actually come down. It's been halved. In fact, it's down to a third. The gap between Vintage Racer and Barders. Obviously, when Rex was in the car, he had that 9-second buffer over John. Vintage Racer has now only got a 3.8-second buffer over Barders.
So there we have it, things closing up. As Wilco giving us a bit of an update. A couple of guys might have accidentally hit something in the setup, and that would have locked their controls, of course. And so that is not good, but we'll wait and see as the race progresses here. Albert, Rex, John, Mac, Wilco, Thunder, Branchy, Brian and Hef have done their job, and now it's up to their teammates to see what they can do in the second part of this race. Dave says same amount of driving time per driver if you add the 10 minutes for quali. Well, there we have it. I didn't think of it that way, Dave, but he's got a point there, Bob.
Yeah,
so
that's
roughly,
right.
Yep,
Dead right.
spot on. Great stuff. Thank you, Dave, for confirming that. So if you do add the 10 minutes for qualifying, of course, they have spent the same amount of time behind the wheel. Brian, let's go, Goat, my boy. And Goat did look good, didn't he, in the practice races leading up to tonight. But we'll wait and see how he goes here in the second part of this 90-minute driver swap race. If you've been with us since the start of the stream, congratulations to you. And for anyone just joining us, hello as well. It is great to have your company. Dave, Brocky, Albert, Bell, Voodoo, the Nigerian Prince, everyone joining us at the moment. Let's go, Goaty. Yes, Brian. Yep, it split the driving between the two, Dave. Good eyes. Vision, great vision there from Dave. As we see the Goat, 13, the young lad. I think he might be the youngest in the field tonight. He's got his house
By a long way.
By a long way. Bit younger than
Yeah, young lad's only 15 years old.
15 years of age, and so we would have grown up on the simulators. None of this pre-DualShock controller on the PlayStation with F197. You're right there, Murray. Thank you for that, Martin. But
Okay.
oh, and there was a bit of a moment there, boss. Bob, sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, so the boss had a bit of an off, and it's dragged Goat straight up into it. Goat's first flyer, 150.7.
Ah, yes. Buenos noches, Alberto, who says, hi, Trev, I missed you, mate. And big hello to Albert. There is a karting event on down in Melbourne, Albert, that I hit interested in down there in Melbourne. I may have had a drink or two that night, but still, you may see me down there. But I'll be definitely down to go. Oh, look at this. We'll get back to that Spanish tapas in a moment, because is that the Goat going through the young lad down the inside? They start them young, don't they? A bit like Max Verstappen back in the day, 16-17. He is got the job done on the boss. Look at that. He's putting some moves on the rest of the field here. Great stuff.
Yeah, no, this will be interesting to see what sort of pace he carries through the rest of the race. Bardas is just over 2 seconds off a Vintage Racer. The one probably to watch a little bit at the moment is just keep an eye on this young lad, see what sort of pace he churns out for the next few laps.
Let's just wait and see what the young lad does there. The boss has still got him well and truly within his sights. Just getting back to the tapas, of course, Albert. I cannot wait to get down to Melbourne, my friend, and go to some real Spanish tapas and not that crap that they serve at Movida. That's a little restaurant there in Little Burke Street. I thought it was good Spanish, but according to an actual Spanish person, it's not that great. But that's a story for another day, because Matterford, don't forget about Matterford down there. J-Mads, as he's known to his friends, only 2.9 seconds off this little battle. There he is on your screen now, so don't forget about him with 47 minutes to go. But Bob, we have a long way to go, don't we, in this 90-minute race. Sounded good in rehearsal, but try talking for 90 minutes. Just thinking, the drivers have done the first half, and the second driver's done the second half. We don't have any backup commentary, do we? We're doing the full stint here tonight, aren't we?
Yes, mate. Well, we've got the safety car that can help us out. We might have to drag Voodoo back into the chat if we start going a bit dry.
And Voodoo, more than enough experience, of course, driving for 40 hours, well, not driving for 40 hours straight, driving for 24 hours, doing various different stints at Le Mans, and he was up for 40 hours straight. So Voodoo, he's got the stamina, and you can see there, speak of the devil, this young fella is going to be an alien in a few years. He has the confidence, he has the skills to be quick, and very keen to see how he progresses over the next year. And boy, how good is it to have him in the field tonight. Have a few drinks, boys. Brocky, says Brocky. I've got a glass of water here, but if someone could somehow get me a beer, if my wife can hear me out there, that would be fantastic, because I'm sweating my nuts off in here. It's absolutely incredible. It's about 100 degrees in here. It's hotter than Africa, and I've never been to Africa.
Barders.
And
Barders is alongside.
Barders. Look at them. Here they are. And look how close it is. Side by side. Is he going? There's no room through there. But Barders.
Oh, he's gone.
He says get
Well
stuffed.
done.
The gloves are off, Brocky, and he's through into the lead. Oh, my goodness me. I'm talking and shitting on, and we just missed the move of one of the moves of the race, Bob. Barders leads, Vintage Racer in second. I didn't think he'd get that done, but he said, you know what, I'm going through.
He full-on sent it.
Unbelievable move. Cheers to you, John Shepherd down there. And nice from Barders, says Bell. And this is fantastic. Boy, he just made a move, didn't he? He was going through, come what may. Not traditionally a passing spot, as our race director says, half the race gone and half still to go. And thank you for that, race director, as Barders now. It's not traditional. I was about to say, it's not traditionally a passing spot. And your mate alongside you really has to work in with you there, Bob, if you're going to get a move done. But fantastic stuff from Barders.
Yeah, no, I mean, all these guys, you know, there's a lot of cross-pollination here, and all these guys know each other. There's a lot of trust that goes in when when you're going to make a move like that. You've got to trust who's around you, and I think that's showing more and more as we have these kinds of events. You know, there's trust, there's banter. It's good fun for the boys.
There we have it, as Albert says, you know what, Trev, maybe check out this battle between Matterford and the boss. It was a 1/10 of a second. Now it is much, much less than that, because Matterford is through and he has overtaken the boss. Thank you for that, Albert, for pointing that out. I was looking at that passing move at the front. Matterford slightly wide out of the first for the two Lesmos. And is this going to give the boss the look that he needs? No, Matterford. And no, nothing going on there. Getting a bit excited. If my wife's listening, I wasn't joking about that beer. I'm serious. Anyway, back to the action now, because Brocky, guess what? He's looking forward to being in the Bathurst race. That is going to be an absolute cracker. But we've still got 43 minutes left in this race here tonight. And it is Matterford now up into fifth, I reckon that is. Is it? Fifth? Yep, I think it is. Yep, because we've got Barders in the lead. And we've got 3 seconds between him and Vintage Racer. Then it's Skill.
I tell you what, now you've just said that, Skill is the one that is flying just now. 49.5 on that last lap.
And that is pace here. And he is absolutely flying all out in clear air. Skill is killing it at the moment. A 1:49.5 on the last lap. And he is he's got to be the quickest man on the track, I reckon. And he is looking good. He is. He sure is. He's absolutely killing it there. Goat, the young man joining us here tonight, just 15 years of age, doing very nicely there. Matterford, after making his move on the boss. And get the dogs, Brocky, says John Shep joining us. And Albert. Albert's saying, Trev, you should get an esky, my friend, like the one that John has made. And, of course, if you drink and drive, you're a bloody idiot. But I wouldn't be drinking and driving. I'd be doing something I'm very good at, and that is drinking and talking. Might have to send a message to my wife out there. If she still hasn't heard me, Bob, I'm not too sure how many goes I should have at this. But anyway, we'll keep, we've got 41 minutes left, so I'll keep you updated on the progress. And Bell taken 4 seconds from Vintage in the last 2 laps. He is absolutely hot here, Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, no, he is looking like a man on a mission at the moment. Belle, of course, is young Skill's other half, better half, we should say. So Belle is the young lady that joins us in for our streams on Reaper on a Sunday night.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Belle. Great. Thanks for joining us. Please, if anyone is out there watching and you haven't subscribed to this channel, that would be great to help out KRL. Also, if you haven't subscribed to Rising Phoenix Racing, of course, jump on board with both of us, because that would be great to have you on board for another season. You know what I'm trying to say? Another year, another season, plenty of streaming action coming your way. Don't forget, we've got another 90-minute driver swap race coming to you from Bathurst towards the end of February. And sim racing and driving, of course. Trev, come on, nothing wrong with that, he says. Having a few cold ones and getting behind the wheel on the PlayStation. There is nothing wrong with that. But 40 minutes to go until the end of this one. And Skill still all out on his own, tearing up the track. Hot pace, of course, Matterford. As we wait for the Italian cameraman, mamma mia, we wait for him to catch up on Matterford. That's how quick he's going as well. Jimbledon down there. Where is Jimbledon? Towards the back of the field. And it's a shame, isn't it? You've got to feel sorry for Jimbledon there, Bob, because that team was looking the goods, weren't they, in the first half?
Yeah, Albert got him off to a flyer, but obviously it's, you know, like with real motor racing, you know, there's an element of luck. Jimbledon's controls were locked, and that's where they lost their advantage.
And you can see there Voodoo, the Nigerian prince, checking in, saying, Geordie just said his pressures are dropping. Hello, dear. It's just your favourite man here. Do you mind just popping? Do you mind just bringing a beer in for me?
I can do that.
Thank you. You're live on air too, so say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
There we go. Thank you for that, dear. As the boss is in the pits. Sorry to call, but yeah, no, that's all right. Any time would be good. There we go. So thank you for that. And they're all streaming in to make the first of their pit stops. Bob, this could, we keep saying it could shake things up. Yet again, we ride on board with the boss, PLE GOAT, the young superstar, Max, Super Goat Max, Goat Man. He is doing well. Change of car, boys. Oh no, George. Tell Geordie to go quicker then, says John Shepherd. And the Bell 92. Thank you, Bell. Great to have you with us, like we said. But Barter's now out in front. So who have we got? Matterford, Boss. So they're the only two that have come in, I believe, Bob, are they? The rest of them staying out at the moment?
Yes, at the moment, yes. Yeah, I thought I'd jump back and see how the old boy was doing, and he's currently sat around the 53s, so he is off pace at the moment. However, we do have our Joker in the pack, and that could happen in about 20 minutes time.
Just you wait and see, as we've got a cold frosting one. Thanks, sorry for ringing you. I was all out of options, but thanks for that. Thanks for that. All right, I love you too. There we have it. So as the frosty cold Heineken just makes its way into the commentary box, it is lap number, what are we on? We're not on lap 18. About lap 9, I think, of this second stint. Barter's still in front, Plum Boss, as Albert says, it smells like we could have a safety car at the end. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, Albert, because guess what, Bob Hoskins? I've got those flashy graphics back. There we have it on the screen at the moment. And just don't tempt me. I think we can call, let me check the rules here. Commentators' rules.
Yes, it's up there.
We can, safety car.
No, don't call it now.
No.
It's too early.
No, it's too early. We can't do it yet. As OBS just plays its usual tricks on me. It loves keeping me on my toes. But there we have it. Just going to tuck into this beer. But 36 minutes remaining in this race. We can't call a safety car just yet. But don't tempt me, Albert, because we could very well do that if things get a little bit We need to spice things up a little bit. Wilco, only with 20 minutes to go if you think it'll spice things up. Thank you for that, Wilco, confirming it there. As Vintage Racer now 5.6 seconds behind Barters, then it's Skill. And look how that gap is closing all the time. 6.8 seconds. So we saw he was in the 149s there, Bob, and he's still in clear air there, but don't discount him out of things towards the end of this race. And then we go to the GOAT, the young man there in doing very nicely. P4, Jimbledon, who had the troubles during the first driver swap. And Wilco says, my boy Binger has just jumped Boss and Mac, and also kept in front of Branchy and Matty. And he's already done his first stop. So Binger doing very nicely there after a difficult start for that team. Team Nissan, one of a few Nissans in this field, of course. And Madiford, what's he doing down there? All out on his own. And so things working out for Binger / Wilco. That team doing very nicely. And
Barter's in the pits.
And Barter's now in the pits. So our race leader in for his pit stop there. And just having a bit of a talking tactics with John there in the pits, his teammate, who did very nicely, didn't he, in that first stint. And Barters, is he coming back out again? Where is he going to feed out? So we've got Vintage and Skill who have gone through. Barters coming out of the pits. And we've got Jimbledon through as well, I think. So where's he going? Is he going to come out in clear air? That's the question. And I think he might be, as that marshal waving a flag for no reason, but it's going to be close.
He's got the mobile chicane coming up on him.
And there we go, Geordie. As there we go, all in good fun. Geordie then couldn't quite get the job done there, but Barter's out, and there we go. Wilco saying, just remember, it'll be 26 to 30 laps. So there is the option to change tyres as they don't get worn a bit in the hot temperatures. It's only adds 5 seconds to your stop if you do it. So it might be worth changing tyres towards the end of this one. Interesting tactics there. We'll wait and see how that pans out. Thank you for that, Wilco. And Big Shep, of course, your pal down there in Warrnambool. He knows he's got a good friend down in Warrnambool from the Speedway, of course. But it's Vintage, Skilled, 3.9. That gap is closing all the time. And boy, he's having a race to remember, isn't he, tonight?
Yeah, that was another 49.8. So he is consistently sat around, sub 50. He's just churning these laps out. Young Goat is in the pits. He was actually losing maybe only a tenth or two per lap. So his pace is very strong as well. Still hard to call, and obviously we can mix this up in the next 15 minutes or so. But we have got probably the top 5 or 6 cars are all along the start-finish straight when they get there on the, on the same lap. So
it's things getting pretty tight. Still a long way to go, of course. Just a tick under 33 minutes as Bell says back-to-back 149s for the Skill. Your man doing very nicely indeed. Goat into the pits and out again. Jimbledon also into the pits there. Albert's teammate. He comes off the jacks, back into the pit lane, back into the fast lane. As John Shepherd says, no need for a safety car. Are you sure about that, John? No need for a safety car at the moment. Hey, Belle, how are you? I'm good, thanks. Wilco, I'm sure that's what she would say. Albert and Jim, thank you. Jim is exiting the pits. Madiford coming down the main straight. This is going to be tight. It's going to be close, Bob Hoskins. And do they touch? That is very close. A little bit too close for comfort there. But it's Jimbledon with his nose in front. But Madiford's going to keep in it. Round the curve at Grande. And I reckon, is he going to have a go here?
Well, the Audi is late on the brakes. It depends on if he's got the bigger coconuts.
And has he got the bigger set of coconuts? That is the question. And Well, it's very close. We're going to wait and see. I think he's biding his time at the moment. The boss a little bit further back. Bell saying, I'm good, Wilco. Thank you for asking. And so keep your comments coming in. And Wilco, who's hot and bothered at the moment. Jim and Maddie could be the battle of the two nicest blokes going around. That's if we're two pretty nice guys up here in the commentary box. Of course, Voodoo, Bob Hoskins, and myself. Between us, we've got the entire country covered, don't we, from the east to the west coast. And between KRL and RPR, this 90-minute driver swap race. What if I give English a try, Bob Hoskins? That'd be great as well, because things are heating up as we see the 2-0. Wilco will be loving this. Record numbers on this stream here tonight for the first one of 2022. Happy New Year. It is great to have you with us here on this magnificent stream, this fantastic race here tonight. And let me just draw your attention to the front of this battle, the front of this race, because Vintage and Skill, it's getting close. It's getting very close as Skill into the pits. As that was getting very tight there. Vintage keeps going on his merry way through to complete another lap here at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. And Binger, Wilco just informing us that Binger has completed both of his pit stops, so he is flat out full beans right the way to the end with less now than half an hour to go in this one. It's not over yet.
No, I've just jumped back to Bardas to see where he is. He is not too far away, but I've got a funny feeling Skill might jump him here.
He's been showing the pace. We've been getting updates, of course, from Bell_92.
He's off.
Off.
Oh no, that's Binger. That's Binger.
Oh,
sorry.
That's all right. You just got me a little bit worried there for a moment. Binger having a slight moment, we believe. Albert says
Bartas holds it.
Bartas holds it. Nice one. Let me just get my bearings about me here. There is Bartas and Albert saying Jim and Maddie are having a great fight there. And it was a couple of tenths. And, oh no, back pit stop for Skill. And sorry, I'm getting a bit confused here. The old OBS is playing up, but no, we're back now. And so there we have it. Skill, I think he turned the car off. So I think Skill's, Bell just letting us know there that Skill may have had some pit stop issues. In fact, he stalled the car. So that's terrible news for Skill and for you, Bell, because that means that all of that hard work in that first stint, Bob, may be undone there, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was absolutely flying. But this race isn't over, and we've got a say in this.
We certainly do, that's right. He's got that sound in his voice. He's a little bit cheeky, a little bit sneaky. And with 28 minutes and a little bit of time remaining, we are not done yet. Don't you go anywhere. Don't you even think about going anywhere, because we've got lots of action coming up. And 16 seconds, of course, for Skill to 16 seconds from Vintage. Can he do it again? 8 minutes for a safety car. Albert says, I'm getting a little bit nervous. Speaking of getting nervous, I reckon, who have we got here? Geordie, who's, that's not for position, is it, Bob? That's a bit of traffic, I think, in the way there for Skill. And I think he's going to go around the outside. Around the outside, round the outside, and Geordie making him go the long way around. He comes into the pits. He's peeled off into the pit lane there, but didn't quite make it as easy for him as he probably could have. But I guess these back markers, they can't just evaporate, can they? Just doing the best they can. As Bell says shush to John, and Thunder Skill doing a good job in his first driver swap race. And as Voodoo, the Nigerian prince, says that there's a bit of dialogue from the chat. Geordie says, how many litres do I need? A young fellow was like, I think you need more than 6.6 litres. So that could be running on the smell of an oily rag towards the end of this one. Big Shep update, Perth Scorchers 6 for 171. Your mob just setting a total there. 171, that's a pretty handy total from the Scorchers. Sydney Sixers need 172 to win the BBL final. So thank you for that, Shep. If you could just focus the next 20 minutes on this race, that would be great. Big Wilco, and he just says, how's old Fossil Nuts? Great stuff between Shep and Wilco, of course, the man they call Nibbles down there in Scoresby, Victoria. Thinking of everyone down there in that part of the world. And you better be back at work on Monday or else, says Wilco. But Skill, well, he's got to do it again, doesn't he, Bob? That's the only way about it. If he's going to do any good towards the end of this race. He's lost time, but he's got to just make it up again. He's done it once. Can he do it again?
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on his laps for, the next couple of laps. I mean, it all depends. I don't know if he took tyres. Have the boys sort of bargained on this pit stop being called? And, if they factored in the fact, fresh tyres, have they factored that in for the rest of the race?
It is all about the strategy, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see Skilled into the pits. And what sort of pit stop is this going to be? Here he comes. We might go back to something more interesting. Goat out on his own. I'll get you to keep an eye on how this order is shuffling. As John says, no tyres for Skilled, I guess. So is he back out? Not quite. He's just waiting.
No, he's still in there.
He's still in the pits, and let's take a look further back. In fact, that's in front of him, I beg your pardon. So I've got Jimbledon, Matterford, and Voodoo. Geordie is apparently now a passenger in the car. He's driving in that view at the moment. So Geordie, there we have it. So Geordie having all sorts of issues. I think you referred to him as a mobile chicane. They used to be sort of like pay drivers back in F1 back in the day. And Bell not giving anything away. And we're not going to, well, you're going to play two can play that game, can't they, Bob Hoskins? Because we could call the safety car. We've got the power! And the power is going to our head because, well, it's less than 4 minutes now, so stay tuned. We'll wait and see, but things look pretty clean. We'll wait and see what happens. There's not too much drama out on the track, and we don't mind a bit of drama, do we, Bob? We can call the safety car out. We can't do anything about the weather because it's still 34 degrees here in Italy, and looking very nice in terms of the weather. So the rain can't do much about that. As Wilco and Geordie, I quote Bob from Geordie. I can't see shit. Let's have a look. Let's go on board and see what Geordie. What's he doing there? He's in the passengers. He's in the passenger seat.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he hasn't clicked drive or something. We did have an event that we did on the PC, and he did exactly the same thing. So yeah, it locks you into a strange view.
And there we have it. So riding on board with Geordie having all sorts of issues. This is probably what he can probably see. As we'll get back to, there we go. All the best to Geordie, and there we have it. And back to Albert. And I tell you what, we need to just jump back. Sorry, there we have it. We'll go back. We'll have a look at Jimbledon and what he's doing. And we'll hit drive again. There we go. We've got that back now. The fans want the safety car. They're calling for it. They're calling for it at the moment. And Bell says, you really want the safety car? Because Albert said, you know what, guys? It's a boring race, and we need something, Bob. Come on, Bullseye. Pull the pin, he says. We got 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. And John says, shh, Albert, don't get too excited, my friend.
What I would recommend to everyone that is on that track currently, if you can hear this, I would get your pit stop done.
Get your pit stops done for everybody out on track at the moment. If you've got the stream on your phone in the background, There we have it. We've given you the 90-second warning. The fans want it, says Albert, and we'll go. All drivers better do their stop, like you said, in case there is a safety car. And you can't call it yet, though. Only if you think it'll spice the race up. Thank you, Bjorn. Bjorn, not from ABBA, but that is Bjorn Borg Undies, GT Lab, of course, one of our beloved regulars. 21 minutes, 17 seconds remaining. Oh boy, 22 people watching this. Let us know your thoughts. Do we put it to a vote? We can only do it if we think it'll spice things up. But there's not a lot of spice in this one, Bob, with 21 minutes now, less than 21 minutes to go.
Exactly. We need some jalapenos.
We sure do. We need something a little bit spicy. Albert, he wants his safety car. And will we give Albert what he wants? Will we give that man a safety car? Buenos noches to you both, mate. Thank you. Go on it. Give it a vote. Quick, get your votes in. Skill. Bell has spilt the beans on the 18 laps of fuel to go. Thank you, Bell. No, Mickey, no safety car. No. Do it with 15. 5 minutes to go. No fuel saving for him. Wow, these comments are going nuts. Keep your comments coming in. We hope you're enjoying this. And Big Shep has now acclimatized to this life. Going to another Jamison over the ice, Nibbles. No safety car. So, well, we can't. It doesn't seem we've got the power, Bob, but we don't appear to have the Michael Massey powers, though.
Yes, we do. Don't let them dissuade you.
There we have it.
So, we did warn everybody. Barders is in the pits, so I think John has probably fed it through to him to get it done.
Get it done.
Let's see if anyone else was listening. Oh, there we go. There's another one in the pits, so they know it's coming.
Another one in the pits. Are we calling it? Are we calling it? That is the question, and is it my call or your call? We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, but who else have we got to pit here? We're just leaving them guessing, aren't we, at the moment? And we haven't got. I hope we haven't got Toto Wolff on the line or something, because there we have it. But as the sun sets here at Monza tonight, let me just get these graphics into position. It's past the 20-minute mark, though, so we can't go with that. We cannot go with the safety car, we're being told. And it's past the 20-minute mark. John doesn't want it. Albert does. Vamos, Trev and Bob. Safety car time, says Brocky. Should we? Who else needs to make a stop here, Bob?
Right, let's... Who's number 6? Where is he? I'll give a countdown, and I think the little flashy safety car light needs to go up.
There we go.
So I think 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4
3 2 1 Happy
safety car
deployed. There we have it. Voodoo, the Nigerian prince. Happy New Year to you, Brocky, because we've got a safety car. That's right. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. And Happy New Year to everyone. Big Shep, who can drink 20 litres of petrol and 20 litres of diesel and not get sick? We'll get back to that, Bob Hoskins, because we're waiting for Voodoo to come out onto the track.
Yep, we need him to come out now, because car number 97, driven by Barders, is coming around the Parabolica.
He's coming around the bend. There we have it. And whereabouts are we, Geordie? Let's go, says Albert. Brocky now doesn't know what to say, because it is all happening here, ladies and gentlemen. It is not over yet.
We need Voodoo to hold it in the... hold it where he is. He's got to wait for the next lap.
So there we go, Voodoo. You got to wait for the next lap. No, Voodoo, no, this is so not right. Michael, Michael. And there we have it. We've pulled the pin. We've done the Massey. We've given him the Michael Massey treatment. And we've, no, in fact, we haven't, have we? He likes to pull the safety car in, doesn't he, Bob? We're putting the safety car out, aren't we? So it's quite the opposite. And John is not happy at all, as he's not happy. WTF, he says. Let's go, Albert and Jim. Thank you, Leo. Yes, who can drink 20 litres of petrol and 20 litres of diesel and not get sick? Alan Shep says Jerry can. Yes. Great stuff. Big Shep enjoying himself down there in Warrnambool tonight. And you can see here comes Voodoo out onto the track now. How long will this safety
it's
car
still a
be?
little bit. It was still a little bit early because obviously Barders is only coming up to Ascari now.
And all I can say to you, John, is that we went motor racing. Okay, I'm sorry, John.
No, don't back Vintage up, Wilco. Vintage, like, because he hasn't pitted.
Oh,
need him to stay out there.
And yep, we need Vintage to.
Because Barders is effectively our race leader at the moment.
So there we have it. So we're just sorting things out. John, always a happy camper, says Brock. And John, get the F out there, safety car. Why wasn't the safety car out on the lap you called it? And John, not at all happy here. I'm sensing it through the chat. And he is not a happy camper at all, is John Shepherd. But you can see a Vintage as the order starting to correct itself because the second lot of drivers have done more laps than the first, of course. So that is right. The timing screens getting updated now to reflect where the drivers are at. And where is Voodoo at the moment? He is...
So he's on the straight down to Ascari now.
Okay, so once we get there we go, heading towards Ascari. So well, we've pulled the pin on this one. Nobody saw it coming, I'm sure. But Brocky saying Barnes has still got this, John. So don't you worry about it. But here's Bjorn. We've got the jokes now. What do strippers and the best F1 drivers have in common? They start events in pole position. As Vintage is pitting now, says Wilco. One full lap. So there we have it before we can get things back underway and the field sorts itself out. We're going to have a tick over 10 minutes of racing action to finish this one off here tonight in what has been a hot, spicy race. And as the sun begins to set, that temperature sticking around 34 degrees. No real weather to speak of. And boy, oh boy, it feels like we started yesterday. It's been a long haul in the commentary box, Bob, but we have seen plenty of action, haven't we, this evening?
Yeah, and I think all the boys know it's all in jest. John's comments, they're all in jest. Yeah, let's just enjoy it. It's going to be a fun 10-minute sprint.
There we have it.
So this all depends where Vintage is going to filter back into this, because obviously he's got to let Voodoo go past him.
So let's see as he comes out of the pits.
Is he letting Barders past?
So Barders goes through. So Voodoo now leading the pack in the safety car. The Nigerian Prince doing what he does best there. And then it's Barders. And a Vintage Racer. Then it's Skill. So we are set up for a grandstand finish here, Bob. We've got Skill, who's been showing some very good pace. And we heard Bell say all she's going to say on the restart is send it. And Albert says one lap. Voodoo can win this race. Well, it's a bit for him to do, isn't it? 19 laps behind, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
And 2 pit stops.
and 2 pit stops and Voodoo up over the curbs there. So having a great time is our man Voodoo, the Nigerian Prince. Can you hear us, Voodoo? And if you can, please acknowledge. What is it like out there driving the safety car, leading this field? Voodoo, let us know if you can hear us right now.
Yeah, I got you. It's interesting to say the least, using the controller.
Oh, that will explain it.
Yeah, I'm struggling really bad. Thank God it's only a lap or two.
There we have it. No need, says Brocky, for technicalities. Team radio, Voodoo, what do you want to say, Mr. Nigerian Prince?
I was just relaying the message back to Wilco. At Ascari, we're letting it go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, that makes sense. We were not... Poor Geordie at the back. A little engine that could. Anyway, we're going to get this back underway as let's go, boys. Albert says, let's go, guys. John tells Barters hold 120 after Ascari. Then he goes at the last corner. So that's how we're doing things. I think we're getting ready. We're getting ready to go racing. We can get rid of this fancy safety car graphic and get underway, Bob. 10 minutes to go until the end of this one. The field is bunched up. Who is going to win? Let us know in the comments below. To you 20 gorgeous people out there watching us, we are not done yet. Lick the stamp, Goaty, says Brocky. Get your shit together, says John Shepherd.
Go.
Go for 10 minutes at Monza. We've got yellow flags out for something. And is that, I think that might be just Voodoo, is it?
Oh!
And...
Oh my God, top 3, safety car.
Oh no, it's all gone tits up. It's gone tits up. Barters.
Safety car. Get out there, Voodoo.
Let me get my sweaty palms on the safety car graphics here on OBS, because this is going to be back. This is absolute carnage on the restart. And I'm not sure where that started. We might check out some replays a little bit later on. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, Brocky. And no, Michael, no, says Bell. That was so not right. Can you reinstate the lap before? as we see, less than 10 minutes to go here at the moment. Have we got the safety car out again? What is going on out there? As Skill is waiting for Barters.
Yeah, we've got to back this pack back up again. It was, again, we had 3 wide heading up to T1. So we had the GOAT had the overlap on Skill. Skill had the overlap on Vintage Racer. And unfortunately, yet again, 3 does not go into 1.
And once again, we saw it, didn't we, right at the start of the race, which seems like such a long time ago. Earlier in the stream tonight, but I've got to say, cold tyres, cold brakes, you lose those temperatures, Bob. It doesn't take much to just pinch a brake and lose it going into turn 1. And next thing, absolute carnage. And the boys, one more safety car. Well, this is going to be interesting because we've got 8.5 minutes to go. And John has John's out for the evening. So good night to you, John. He's gone. We'll let you know the results a little bit later on, Bob.
So yeah, we just got to hope that no one picked up any lasting damage on their cars, you know, so at least they can have a scrap for the last few laps. I mean, you know, this is just a bit of a get-together between the 2 leagues, but obviously bragging rights do matter.
Certainly do. 8 minutes to go in this race. The sun setting here at Monza, and the field is bunched up. Good evening to you, John. Who's, you know, things are bad when you've got to choose to show or hide the comments on the live stream, but he's not happy. But anyway, John, all in good fun, like we keep saying. And Brocky, almost lost my voice, but Brocky says 1 lap of the safety car. He's forgot he's not on GT Sport, but there we have it, still 18 people. And we love each and every one of you watching this 90-minute driver swap race here from Monza. Don't forget, next month, it'll come around quick enough, won't it, Bob? But we're going to do it all over again at Bathurst between the RPR guys and KRL as well. Wow. Still, we started about 2 hours ago. It's still hard to tip a winner here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But look who's currently sat in P2.
P2. And wow. This is amazing stuff. It is it my Bingaling?
Oh, no, he's sat in P1, sorry.
P1 now, I beg your pardon. and it is Binger King 33. And if there's ever a man that knows how to make a Nissan just wide enough going into each braking zone, it's that man, isn't it, Bob? He's not an easy man to pass.
No, he's not. He is not. He's very consistent. He knows that car like the back of his hand. I don't know what has happened, but young Mountain Goat is miles behind this pack.
So there we have it.
But here we go.
Here we go. So Wilco saying that was an absolute disaster, but we're back racing again. 6-minute sprint. And it all comes down to this. Jimbledon down the inside. And is that move done? Yes, it is, I think. Goat pitted, says Bell. Thank you for that. Hayne 94. G'day, lads. Great to have you with us, Hayne. And something has happened. Something else has happened. There's a yellow flag further down the field. Off, off, off. Spin, spin, spin. Round, round, round he goes. And who was that at the back? I think it was Barters, was it?
Unfortunately, it's Maddie. No, unfortunately, it was Maddie.
And it was Madiford who has had an incident there. Well, who was it that said safety cars, bring safety cars? Bring safety cars as Barters launches himself over the curbs there. What happened, says Bell. Madiford now in some trouble as well. Barter's not too far behind him. And absolute carnage. No, we'll get rid of the safety car. Get rid of the safety car. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, Bob. But with 5 minutes to go in this race, Binger leads. But for how long? Skill now up to P4. And someone down the inside. This is for the lead. Jimbledon and Binger going side by side. Are they going to touch? Through Ascari, not quite, but it's close, and Jimbledon fancies him. He really fancies him here. Down to the Parabolica with less than 5 minutes to go now. There's a yellow flag out for somebody else. I'm not sure who it is, but right down into the Parabolica through the final corner. He's down the inside. Elects to up out of it, but now it's pretty much a drag race back onto the start-finish straight here, Bob. 4.5 minutes to go in this one.
No, I think Binger's been a bit cheeky there. He wants to slip down here.
So
I think he's let him have it.
Soon to be P3, says Bell. Binger tucks in behind, looking for the slipstream. Coming down into turn 1. And no, and that, oh my goodness, I could see that happening. And you could see the pace that he took into that corner. Drive-through penalty for car number 10. I'm guessing that's because
Binger...
Binger...
that was for the corner cut. Corner cut. It would have registered it as a, him cutting the course.
And it must have registered as a misdemeanor there for Binger. So he gets a 10-second drive-through penalty. Wow, what a hectic final couple of laps we're having here at Monza in this driver swap race between the RPR and KRL guys, and look how close it is. Jimbledon has checked out at the front, has he? But still a long way to go. Anything can happen, and it usually does, with 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go in this race. What are we going to get in here, Bob? A lap and another lap, maybe?
Yeah, I would think so. I'm just trying to make my way through to see what actually happened as they were having that run up to T1.
So Bob is on the replays as we'll continue with the live action here. Jimbledon has checked out in the front. Leo says, bring it home, Jimbledon. And Albert, whereabouts are you? And wow, a flying brick. Unfortunate contact there from Plum Boss. Skill didn't get the second safety car message, so we are ditching the safety car, I'm being told, for the next race at Bathurst, Bell, so you don't need to worry about that. Your man will be okay. We're not going to get the safety car for the next race. As you can see, the slipstream, look at this down the main straight, through potentially onto the penultimate lap of this race. 4.5 seconds between Jimbledon and Skilled. And Albert says, you know what? I love safety cars. I absolutely love them. Thank you, Albert. I don't mind. I'm not impartial to the odd safety car here and there. But let's have a look at Spice. It certainly spiced things up before the end of this race. Skill and Vintage. And that, from Bob must mean that something is going on. It's getting mighty close here, Bob.
No, I just had a quick look to see what actually caused the off, and it was very similar to the previous two altercations into T1. Tiny touch, and it just unsettled both cars.
As the boss, Spartas, Matterford, Vintage Racer just with a nose in front of them at the moment. So less than 90 seconds. We've had 90 minutes, Bob. Now we're down to less than 90 seconds remaining in this one. Bell he had a good safety car recovery, so all good. And Bell just telling Albert, maybe if there's a safety car when you're on track, it might be a different story. But it's here we go through Ascari. It's all worked out, hasn't it? It's all worked out rather nicely for that team, hasn't it, Bob? Albert getting a good first stint in, called the safety car. We listened, and now his teammates 4.6 seconds in the lead, and on his final lap, coming up to his final lap of this race, 41 seconds, 40 seconds to go until the end of this one. Wait for it.
Right, man. Neither is on the final.
As the
Let's not forget that they were very unfortunate in their first pit stop. So they were the net leaders at the time. They missed out on the controls being locked.
And look at this, 3 wide down the main straight.
Oh!
And Bobby, 3 doesn't go into 1. But they
It did this time.
It did this time. It was almost 4, wasn't it? 3. I didn't think they'd get that done, but they did, as Simon Major, the great man Simo, says, send it, Jim, send it. 4.3 seconds now, that gap, and something's happening. That is it. 3, 2, 1, 0. The time is up here in this 90-minute driver swap race at the Autodromo di Nazionale Monza. Barters would have so much damage. That's a ripper move. Great pass there, Barters. Great stuff. Great racing all round. Here he is for the final lap of this race. But boy, oh boy, it is not over yet. Look at this. The battle for the final podium positions is well and truly on here, Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, it's... What have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3 cars with less, well, just over 2 seconds between them all. No, less.
It's less than that. And who caused that crash after the safety car? Brocky, great pass. Go Barters, here we go. But this man down to the Parabolica for the final time. What a race by Jim. And let me know in the comments what you've thought about this race tonight. Through the final corner, out onto the main straight for the final time. Jimbledon wins here at Monza. They had a tough time after the first stop tonight, but who's going to finish second? Skilled gets second. Barters gets third, I think, ahead of the boss, Vintage Racer, and Matterford. I think Matterford may have pipped him on the line. Yes, he has, I think, up to 5th. Binger is off the track somewhere. I think that's somewhere near Ascari, I think. And he'll have to be careful. I think he's got the goat coming up behind him there. So he's had an off. Geordie into the pits and out again. But wow, where do we start with that race tonight, Bob Hoskins?
Well, there's going to be a lot of talk between the boys. I know there's going to be some grumbling, but that's what this is all about. It's just a spectacle. We wanted a good laugh. We wanted something a bit exciting, and we definitely got it. So yeah, I mean, you could argue that Jimbledon and Albert, you know, if the controls weren't locked, they looked as if they were on for it anyway. Barters and John deserved a podium. They got the podium. Skill, he had electric pace when he got in the car, so he deserved to be up there or thereabouts. Unfortunately for Binger, yeah, there was that tangle after the second safety car.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was good fun.
There we have it. Apologies there, just had some mic issues. But, well, Jimbledon wins. There we have it, ahead of Skill. Barters rounding out your top 3 podium finishes tonight. The Boss 290, Matterford in 5th, Vintage Racer in 6th, Binger in 7th. after a bit of an incident there in the final part of the race. The young gun in 8th, the GOAT in 8th, Geordie in 9th. And wow, absolutely fantastic racing. Go Barters, what a race by Jim. Great driving by Skill as well. Well done, Alberto and Jim. Thank you, Leo. Albert, vamos. Wilco, that was fun. Congrats to Jim and Albert and Skill and Oz and Barters and John. And Jimmy Stoddart, what a roller coaster. And this race was like a roller coaster, baby. And thank you for coming along on the ride tonight. And as I begin the long process, Bob, of peeling myself off of this office chair, you can see the fireworks here starting tonight. It's going to be a party, that's for sure. Jim and Albert are going to be partying, no doubt about that. But fantastic stuff, and big thank you to everybody who joined us, Bob. We had a massive turnout tonight, not only on the grid, but also in the comments. It's been it's been a winner all year round.
Yeah, no, it's good when we all get together. You see that in the viewer numbers. You know, what do you hit? 20?
20.
I think I think that's pretty good going.
Yep, 22 there, but still, good stuff. And look at that. Albert says, thanks, everyone. That was crazy. Cheers to Bob and Trev for this stream and Wilco for organizing. Thank you, Albert, the great man down there, Albert. Still, I've got my Spanish, still learning the Spanish, of course, for down there at Albert Park and the Grand Prix, so we can cheer on Carlos San Fernando. Good work in the commentary box, guys. Thank you, Plum Boss. Thank you for joining us, everybody here tonight. Great turnout. Great to see RPR and KRL getting together once again. First time in 2022. First stream for 2022. And you've got to say it's a success. We weren't talking about the Ashes. We weren't talking about Abu Dhabi. And I don't think we'll talk about safety cars either. We'll just leave that one. There's the hat trick, the perfect 3. Don't talk about the war either. But there we have it, Bob. We are almost out of time. Thank you, mate, for joining us on a very warm evening.
No, thanks for having me again. It's always good fun, and it's great when these two leagues get together.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. And also a big thank you to our safety car driver, Voodoo. We'll send you the invoice. Voodoo, thank you for everything you do. As well, and thank you for joining us tonight. You've been terrific as always.
That's not a problem at all. Thank you for having me. That safety car bill as well, 6 million rubles, expected by the end of the week.
You're the one sending me those text messages, just asking me that I've got £8 million in a Nigerian bank account, and all you need, it's fantastic, all you need is my bank account details, my name, my email, very genuine, so thank you for that, Voodoo. Fantastic stuff, Wilco, thank you. It says, appreciate your time and commentary, Bob, Trev, and Voodoo. That is all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to everyone who joined us for this race tonight. That is our lot. That's a wrap for the Kid Buyers Racing League and the Rising Phoenix Racing League, with 2015 cars at Monza here in Italy. Don't forget, we have another race coming up a bit later on. Stay tuned to our socials for that, 25th of February from Bathurst. And John, we won't have the safety car there, so how good's that going to be? But that's all we've got time for, ladies and gentlemen. Be kind to one another, social distance, all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you next